Welcome to the Car Guys, and yes, there must be a Y in the day because it's another Ferrari launch. And although a Spider version of the recently launched 296 GTB was expected, do you know what? I really thought this was going to be the pura sangue. But no! Announced on Tuesday the 19th of April 2022, whilst I was driving this 308 GTS, Ferrari launched the 296 GTS, a retractable hardtop version of the wild hybrid 296 GTB. Shall we delve into the specs of this brand new hybrid supercar? Do you want to know what I think about it and how it fits into the range and whether or not I have one on order? Okay, let's do this. Here it is, and yes, I know what you're thinking. It's a Ferrari, and isn't it a looker? Many of you have already told me that you have one on order since the GTB was launched, and many more of you have placed orders since yesterday. It seems Ferrari has still got the minerals when it comes to relieving us all of our cash. It's just a shame that Ferrari has reverted to the outdated practice of announcing the coupes and convertibles months apart, instead of just revealing them both together like they did with the 812 Competizione and 812 Competizione Aperta. Why make us go through all the rigmarole of leaving deposits for non-existent cars or purposely holding off on the coupe order when we all know there's going to be a Spider or GTS a few months down the road? Back to the 296 GTS though, and as you'd expect for a modern Ferrari, it's curvy and at the same time angular. It follows the same design language as the SF90 Spider and the F8 Tributo Spider. It's very much the current in-house design language headed up by Flavio Manzoni. And you can see how excited he got when he sketched this GTS, because it allowed him to completely redesign the back of the car, create these buttresses, and also allow a decent view of the engine, which is something that Ferrari Spiders haven't done since the 16M. It's still got the reliable, proven retractable hard top, only this time the design and engineering teams have created a faux tonneau cover by colouring the active area in black, including the buttresses themselves. And when it opens and closes using that redesigned rear deck, it looks every bit as silky smooth as the 488, F8 and 812 GTS. You can also do it whilst the car is in motion. And the weight penalty over the GTB for this sumptuous Spider and its folding hardtop, 70 kilograms. About the same as 1.5 Keira Knightley's. The remainder of the rear of the car is pretty much unchanged, as you can see here, which means, as many of you have pointed out, it looks a bit like a Corvette. The 296 GTS is powered by a mid-rear mounted 3-litre 120-degree V6 engine coupled with a plug-in PHEV electric motor that debuted on the 296 GTB. That gives you a scarcely believable 818 brake horsepower, which is 830 PS, which means a 0 to 60 time of 2.9 seconds, politically a smidge higher than the SF90. A 0 to 124 time of 7.6 seconds, 0.2 seconds quicker than a McLaren 720S, and a top speed of 205 miles an hour. And for all you Ferrari history buffs, the first time Ferrari created a mid-rear engine V6 car was this 1961 246 SP, which won the Targa Floria that year and again in 1962. Since the 296 GTB was Ferrari's first rear-wheel drive plug-in hybrid, this is the first convertible with that technology. The hybrid engine consists of the 3-litre V6 turbo petrol engine mated to a rear-mounted electric motor via a TMA actuator, allowing for both to be used simultaneously or in only electric mode for just over 15 miles. The big advantage of a full electric mode with such a short range is that you can breeze into cities without paying congestion charges. For the time being. The GTS keeps the space-age interior from the 296 GTB and SF90. It's a bipolar affair of incredible high-definition screens and copious, semi-annoying haptic touchpads. I've only experienced the interior of the Roma, but I was both amazed and infuriated in similar quantities. Not having driven an SF90 or 296 GTB yet, I'm afraid I cannot comment on how the GTS is likely to drive or feel from behind the wheel. I guess a more punchy Pista is as far as I'm prepared to guess. If you have either the SF90 or the 296 GTB and you want me to cover them in Drive Every Ferrari, please get in touch. There are now 12 cars in the Ferrari range spread across V6 hybrid, V8 petrol, V8 hybrid and V12 engines. You've got the 296 GTB and now this 296 GTS, both with V6 hybrid powertrains, the SF90 Stradale and Spider with V8 hybrids, F8 Tributo and Spider, yep, they're still going, with V8 petrol engines, Roma and Portofino M with V8 petrol, and the 812 Competizione and Aperta and Daytona SP3 all using naturally aspirated V12s. So now we know all about the 296 GTS, what do I think about it, and am I going to get one? Make no bones about it, folks, it's a smart looking car. It's not as good looking as the Pista Spider in my opinion, but that whole resemblance to the 1963 250 LM does at least give it some interesting lines. It looks compact, low, fit and lithe, and as long as you don't adorn it with stripes, it's a classy little minx. What's not to like about a super fast street fighter with all the tech and speed of an SF90, but for about £140,000 less? If this is your first Ferrari, you're going to find it scintillating, spine-tingling, and yes, sexy. But if you're a seasoned collector and this isn't your first rodeo, it's perhaps not such an obvious purchase. After all, you may have already had a Pista Spider, F8 Tributo, or SF90 Spider. I'm not a big fan of the rear end. I think it's its worst angle. I don't think it stands out against other cars in the range or those of recent history. And I wonder if time will judge this as a bit of a stopgap car. I also am really getting tired of this whole Assetto Fiorano clown maker option that seems to be offered on everything from Ferrari these days. It felt like a whole new thing on the SF90, but it only saves 8 kilograms, costs a lot, and feels a bit gimmicky to me. Is it a state-of-the-art Ferrari? Yes. Will it be mind-blowing to drive with the top down? Undoubtedly. Is it a baby SF90 Spider for a lot less cash? Absolutely. Would I be a bit annoyed if I'd just spec'd an SF90 Spider with options for £450,000 against this being £300,000 with the same boxes ticked? Yes, I probably would. And it's not like there's a really big difference between a V8 hybrid and a V6 hybrid. So, am I tempted to buy a 296 GTS? No. And neither you nor Ferrari would be surprised to hear this. And it's for this simple reason. It's too much. Too complicated, too fast, too heavy, too expensive, too numb, and too good, frankly. The latest Ferrari is always faster, spectacular, safer, and more thrilling than the last. I have no doubt that the 296 GTS will be an electrifying drive, work perfectly, dazzle the opposite sex, and outperform almost all current supercars. For me personally, I already have a Pista Spider, which I prefer the looks of, and it doesn't have any of the hybrid gubbins, and the only reason that they're now part of modern Ferraris is for political reasons and climate activist pleasing window dressing, which obviously I'm fundamentally against. Anyone who thinks forcing Ferrari to build hybrids is a good thing, given the small number of cars produced and the low miles each car is driven, is quite simply deluded. When the 296 GTS was announced, I was eagerly watching on my phone, sat in a humble 308 GTS, a 42-year-old car that is 3 seconds slower to 0 to 60, 50 miles an hour slower top speed, and in any stretch of tarmac, outclassed in every way. But do you know what? It's fun, balanced, has fingertip well-weighted steering, it makes a great carburetted V8 sound, and you can have all that pure Ferrari Pininfarina design style for a quarter of the price of a 296 GTS. It also has that vital ingredient which is greatly diminished in modern day cars: soul. The 308 oozes Ferrari heritage, fallibility, and of course design style. It's flawed and compromised, but you don't care. It's awesome. So there won't be a 296 GTS in the CarGuys garage. The downside of modern supercars is that they are damn near perfect, and perfect things are often just a bit dull. Thanks for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like what we're doing on the Car Guys, please subscribe, leave comments and likes. There'll be another episode next week.